HTTV, in association with Absolute Warehouse Services, delighted to be joined by Chairman of Huddersfield Town, Phil Hodgkinson. Phil, thanks for joining us first of all for what's been a long-awaited part 2 of the interview now. We'll address that straight away because I know as a fan you get comments, you hear things. There's been a perception that from the announcement to today, where we can officially say now you are Chairman, that there's been a long time, but there are a couple of very good reasons for that.
There are, yes. So it hasn't actually taken that long. Dean and I, and mainly myself, took the decision to announce that we'd come to an agreement before the Man United game. Dean was quite comfortable with whether we did or not. It was really important to me that Dean and his family had that game in front of the fans, and so we'd agreed the terms of the deal and we decided to announce it at that point. In reality, a lot of things needed to happen post that to get it over the line. So it's quite a complex, it's not as simple as someone buying a football club. So I already owned a football club. Well, I'm then buying a football club that doesn't own its own stadium, that there's a separate agreement with Canal Side. So you're talking about having to get ratification of selling my shares and Southport from the National League. You're then talking about ratification by the FA. You're then talking about the fact that the Premier League felt it was appropriate that the fit and proper test was done by the EFL because we'd been relegated at that point, and we didn't actually become an EFL club until the 7th of June, and the EFL weren't back from their conference till the 10th of June. So in reality, it's actually only taken less than 3 weeks, and whilst Dean and I had agreed everything in principle and we'd exchanged, we hadn't completed. And there's a lot of legal things to go through, disclosures, documents, clarification, etc. So in reality, it's actually happened in less than 3 weeks. It looks like it's been longer because I chose with Dean to announce it because that Man United game was really important. And you know, to probably this is a good opportunity for me to put some of the gossip that's been going around to rest. I didn't fail the fit and proper person test. My finances were checked by the EFL. Everybody's happy. It was purely and simply the fact that we announced early. There were delays, and it wasn't straightforward. There were 2 football clubs involved and 2 organisations, not one. And
isn't it lovely that how rare in football, in any business, that you get 2 people that trust each other enough to kind of announce a takeover of any business, not around a football club, where you can do it before everything's signed.
Yeah, I mean, Dean and I, we had a phone call the day that we announced, which was the Friday of Pedal for Pounds, and I remember Dean saying, "You're happy, aren't you?" And I said, "Dean, I'm happy." He said, "We're both happy, so we can shake on it." I said, "Yeah, well, we've exchanged, we can shake on it, so let's get it done. I want you to have that game." And that's how Dean and I are. That's how we speak, and we're on the same page. We are genuinely on the same page with everything, so it's good. It's very good.
And now you are, in Dean's words, the custodian of the football club as chairman. So yeah. Obviously, you've been close to Huddersfield Town, both as a sponsor and a valued partner for quite some time now. You are very familiar with what Huddersfield Town represented under Dean Hoyle. No doubt you want to put your own stamp on things, Phil, and that'll come in the course of time. But do you see this as an evolution of what's gone over the last 10 years, or is it a revolution under Phil Hodgkinson?
No, it's an evolution. It's about moving everything forward. It's about probably putting my spin and my stamp on it to a degree. But it's, what Dean and his family have done over the last 10 years for this football club and the community and the town's been phenomenal. And it's just important that we continue and we take that forward and try and maybe take it to the next level if that's possible, and continue with that good work and do more of it. So it's an evolution.
You're not the only one wearing the new Umbro training wear around the place at the moment. The players are back. Always gives that feel that it's kind of the start of the new season, I feel, when the players are back in the building. Plans for the new season, obviously well on since we last spoke, so we'll come on to the transfers in a second, but Jan Zievert's out on the pitch, assisted by Colin Bell, and Mark Hudson now as well on the pitch. What is your kind of opinion on what's been so far, what's to come, and how excited are you for the Sky Bet Championship to get underway?
I'm incredibly excited. So I've I've watched some training sessions, been in and around the players, in and around Jan, in and around the coaches, and I can't stress this enough, we've got some phenomenal people at this football club. Not just on the football side, across every department, we've got some fantastic people, phenomenal people who do a really, really good job. One thing that was important for me, certainly from the football side of things, was when I was watching training, and it's pleasing that there are lots of smiling faces, there's lots of effort, there's lots of hard work going on, the levels of commitment you can see are there, and it was important that we came back from last season fresh and with a different mindset. We've added already 3 players, and I think that, you know, they each have their own qualities. Tommy Elphick was an absolute must for me, another leader, quality player at this level and above, you know, a great guy and a really, really good defender and a leader of men. Reece Brown, he's played in the Championship, lost his way a little bit, but credit to him, he's gone back down to the lower levels and worked his way up, and he's got amazing potential, and I think he'll do really well. And Josh Koroma, again, he's only young, but an unbelievable amount of potential. And one of the things that was really key wasn't just their ability, but they've all come from winning dressing rooms. Tommy Elphick at Villa, promoted. Josh Koroma at Leyton Orient, promoted. And Reece Brown at Forest Green got into the playoffs. So they've come from a winning mentality, and that's really important to come into the group. It adds to where we are, and it takes away some of the negatives from a dressing room that's been used to losing.
May I speak to you briefly about Jan Sievert as well? Harking back to when we put that statement out in May, you made a very specific point of backing Jan there and then. And I thought that was really key after what had been a difficult season, no doubt about it, and a really difficult hand that Jan had to play in the end for the second half of the season. That you wanted to put it out there on record. First thing you did almost at Huddersfield Town was to say, he's my man. Why was that?
Yeah, it was important to do that, and you know, the reality, this process has been going on for months, and obviously I've been kept abreast of everything that's been going on. I knew what was happening with David, and Dean involved me in the thought process around Jan, so he made me aware of what was happening with David. He made me aware of Jan, the fact that the club had met with Jan some time ago, and he was the next guy. I did my own research into Jan. Everything throughout that process was shared with me, and there was nothing that I didn't like about Jan as a person, his style of football, the way he comes across, the way that he manages, and he's definitely my guy. We get on great. You know, thought process is very, very similar, and it was just a no-brainer. There was nothing within that appointment that concerned me, and you know, I've got to say that seeing him out on the training pitch, that only reinforces that. He's respected. The players listen to him. They take on board what he's saying. He's really good with the players. He doesn't take any messing, but he does it in the right way. He's a strong character, and that's what this football club needs. But you know, contrary to popular opinion, the way that I see the group of players is that they're behind him completely, and I absolutely 100% am. He's going to be a very, very good manager for this football club.
You've talked about the 3 signings that are through the door this window already, which has been fantastic to see early in that window. Obviously more work to do in the transfer window, I think we all acknowledge that, not just with Innsfield, but just as importantly, players out as well, which I think we've all said at the time, it's nothing to be scared of, it happens at football, but there's still plenty of work to do between now and August the 5th when we play Derby County. Yeah,
lots and lots of work. We've got a fantastic head of recruitment in Josh Marsh, who probably doesn't get the credit that he earns sometimes, because he just gets on with it in the background. But we've been working on recruitment since just after Christmas. We've been looking at permanents, we've been looking at players that have been released, we've been looking at transfers, we've been looking at loans. And we focus on the positions whereby we feel we need to strengthen. And I think the important thing is, what this football club needs is, it's not just ability, it's not just skill. This football club needs players that want to be here, it needs players that are committed to this football club. And in reality, more so in the Championship, but still in the Premier League, ability only gets you part of the way. It's about how much hard work you're prepared to put in, and the commitment, and how strong the group are together. And so this process has been ongoing, and we've met with players that have been on our list. We've met with some of the players that we've been linked with, and to be honest with you, some of them from a character perspective weren't what we were looking for. We need players here with the right character. and that's a really key part of it.
I think that's important to say. That obviously it goes without saying that in a perfect world you'd like all your players in first day of pre-season, but actually if it takes a bit longer to get the people who tick all the boxes in, then you take longer.
Yeah, it will be, listen, this will go one of three ways. The perfect window is that the players that we need to move out, that don't want to be here and that we want to move out, all get moved out. We bring in the players that we want to bring in, and we know who they are, but we have to move players out, otherwise you end up with a squad of 45. And you know, that's a perfect window. In reality, there's a strong possibility that this will be at least a 2-window, probably a 3-window transition, because we have to make that transition. There are players that are used to being in the Premier League and that's where they want to be, and there are positions that we need to strengthen because players have left. So yeah, I would love it to all get done and dusted in the next 2 weeks. The reality is that we've got to be realistic and look at it as a 3-window transition to where we want to get to. But I'm excited about the players that have come in. I'm excited about the players that will hopefully come in. I'm not going to put timescales on that because we don't want to be bringing in players too early. We've got to make sure that we've got the right blend of moving out and moving in. It's got to work like that for us.
Absolutely. A lot of Town fans, as you well know, interested in the head of football operations. We've been very clear as a club to say that the plan has always been to recruit for kind of September time, you know, probably at the end of this window. How far along the line are we with that process?
That process is now complete. So we spent a full week of interviews, both internal and external, excellent candidates. And then we've spent the last week, we've narrowed it down, and the candidates that we've shortlisted have then met with the manager, and I'm really excited about the appointment, really excited. But everyone that we saw, both internally and externally, should be commended because the quality of their interviews and presentations was really, really high, and it was not an easy decision, but I do believe we've got the right person.
Exciting times. Like I said, season up and coming, not long now until we'll be kicking off against Derby County at the John Smith Stadium on the 5th of August. A lot's said in football about targets. You know, what's your target for the season? Whether it's a striker, how many goals, whether it's a club, what position. What's your target for the season for the football team and the football club?
Yeah, okay. So as far as we have targets internally that remain internal, it's a very dangerous thing to start publicly telling people what your targets are. In a nutshell, we won 3 games last season, and in this last season and a half we won 8 games. So the target is to get back into the habit of winning football matches, and let's see where it takes us. Football's a game of habits. You lose games, you get into the habit of losing games, you come to expect to lose games. You win games, you get into the habit of winning games, and you come to expect to win games. And we've got to get this football club and the players back to the mentality of turning up and expecting to win. And that's the target, to win football matches and just get everybody positive again.
You've said this to me off camera, I'm on it I think as well, but through your business career, through what you've done, the Pure Group, you don't accept average. That's pretty clear, Phil. I imagine that'll be the same here.
Absolutely. I'm not doing this for a bit of fun. I'm doing this because I love the football club. I'm doing this because I believe I can take it to the next level, and I can believe I can take it forward from everything that Dean's done. And I'm not here to be average. Nothing in my life that I do I set out to be average, and I don't believe that anything that I've done in my life has been average. And I've got no intention of being average at Huddersfield Town. Rather than talk about targets, I think, you know, the proof of the pudding's in the eating. I think actions speak louder than words, and I think that, you know, what I want is for people to judge me on my actions and what the football club does and how we perform, rather than perceptions that are based on no substance or fact. So let's get on with the job. Let's get back to winning football matches. Let's be positive. Let's be happy. Let's get some smiles on faces. Let's get our fantastic atmosphere going like it did all of last season. I mean, our fans were amazing. That stayed with us right throughout the season, and credit to them, and they're known around the world for that. And we need to make sure that atmosphere on that first game at home to Derby and every other game of the season, home and away, is exactly the same, because the players genuinely feed off it. All of the players that I've spoken to and the players that have come here have said, we want that. that we thrive on it. It drives us forward, and it genuinely does. It makes a difference, and we've got fantastic supporters with fabulous senses of humour.
And finally, Phil, as we sit here now and I can officially call you the chairman of Huddersfield Town, what's your overriding feeling? Is it one of relief to have it done now, you can get on with it, excitement?
It's a mixture of everything. Relief that it's done now because I can get on with the job. And that's the most important thing. It's about getting on with it, rolling the sleeves up, and putting some graft and some hard work in, and making sure that everybody around the place knows that that's our ethos. We're a working class club. You know, we work hard, we conduct ourselves on and off the field with class, and it's a club that belongs to the fans, the community and the town, and we've got to get that ethos within the club, and it's my job to spread that around there. So relief, happiness, excitement, joy, and I can't wait. I just cannot wait. I can't wait to get on the plane and get out to Austria, and get involved in pre-season and start that journey.
Yeah, absolutely. On to Austria, on to the rest of the season, Phil. Thanks very much for joining us, and officially welcome to the club.
Thank you very much.